So, Ben Simmons, this man right here, I don't know, does he want to be an NBA player? And I'm going to say this right now. If we're basing it on last night, yeah, the guy really does want to be an NBA player. Man balled out last night. I do have to give credit where credit's due. Like, I'm normally not one to be overhyping Ben Simmons, but Simmons was really good in a win against Phoenix. And if you guys agree, subscribe. We're trying to hit 5.9k by the end of the day. We're only 18 subscribers off, and at 6k by the end of the month is the goal. We got 2 more days to do it after today. And don't worry, this is video number 2. We're uploading 10 videos on this channel today to make up for the fact that I only uploaded 5 yesterday, which is not enough. So, Ben Simmons right here. Is he starting to take basketball a bit more seriously? I'm being completely honest. Is he starting to finally take basketball more seriously? Because Ben Simmons, it's never been a skill issue. Every issue with Ben Simmons has always been in his head. Like, I'll always tell this story when talking about Ben Simmons. And if you've been listening to this channel, you guys are probably know exactly what I'm saying. You're probably going to want to punch me in the face for overtelling this story. But for the new viewers, I got to tell it. As a rookie, I went to a practice in London with the Philadelphia 76ers. And what ended up happening was the whole team was shooting. Even the centers that didn't shoot, they were doing their shooting exercise, whether it be from mid or from 3. Ben Simmons was walking around with his hands in his pockets shooting half-court hook shots because he was scared to miss. He was scared to shoot in front of, literally just in front of the media. And it wasn't even the media. It was like English newspapers who don't really care about basketball, and me. Like, and for those of you guys, again, I've got the, for those of you guys that are questioning my story, we can go back to 2018. And here is myself with Jared Bayless interviewing him with a phone because we forgot our microphone. But we're now hearing about him reportedly reaching out to Embiid to repair their relationship. And I've seen, it's an article from Sporting News where it says, consider shock reunion with former 76ers teammate. It says here, they say time heals all wounds, and 4 years from his unceremonious exit from Philadelphia, it appears Ben Simmons is interested in a return to Philadelphia. According to insider Ramona Shelburne, Simmons is open to return to his former team and even reached out to ex-teammates Joel Embiid in an effort to mend their fractured relationship. So, and we see this tweet, so much has gone wrong for Simmons and his former team in the years they've been apart that Simmons' presence back in Philadelphia barely registered this time. He'd even reached out to Embiid and others last summer, league source said, hoping to mend fences. So, obviously he's trying to fix things, but the reality of the situation is that I'll stand by this. There was a point in time where Embiid and Doc Rivers were in the wrong, and then it flipped that Ben Simmons was in the wrong. And I'm just saying, it got you Harden. It got you Harden. You were able to trade this man for James Harden. Like, how you were able to trade this man for James Harden, I still to this day do not know. How the Brooklyn Nets actually thought that this guy for James Harden. To be fair, Ben Simmons at his peak probably solved every flaw with that Brooklyn Nets team had with the KD and Kyrie era. But, yeah. So much has gone wrong for Simmons, obviously. Honestly, pretty respectable. You can never make me hate you, Ben Simmons. And the reality is that I'll stand by this. Joel Embiid and Doc Rivers, until Simmons requested a trade and it was refused, I actually think Joel Embiid and Doc Rivers were completely in the wrong. Like, they both literally called out Ben Simmons. They called out Ben Simmons as the reason why they lost the game. Because, you know, he passed up a dunk. He passed up a dunk in a play with like 6 minutes to go and they only got 1 point out of it. So they lost 1 point. What was Hawks versus Sixers game 7? They were like, oh, that was a momentum swing. And I'm like, I'm sorry they lost by 7. It was 1 point in a 7-point game. And as well as that, Joel Embiid, in fairness, he did score 31 in that game. And Ben Simmons did have 5 points. But he still had 13 assists, 8 rebounds. And he did a really good job in that series guarding Trae Young. Like, the reality is that him making the pass he made a bad play. He made a bad play. People make bad plays all the time in basketball. But like, he held Trae Young, and that was the year Trae Young was balling in the playoffs. He held him to terrible, terrible shooting. Like, Ben Simmons offensively was poor, but he was still the best defensive player in the NBA in 2021. And just because it seemed like Ben Simmons wasn't particularly liked, they decided to throw him under the bus. And then after that, obviously, Ben Simmons' agent, I will say this, that after that, obviously Ben Simmons' agent saying send him to California. They should have sent him to Sacramento. But and then like talking about him being a young socialite, and then him walking around practice with his hands in his pockets. The only people, by the way, like the rest of the team can be mad about that. Joel Embiid has absolutely no right to be mad at Ben Simmons. He has none. Like when you publicly throw your teammate under the bus and that teammate doesn't want to play with you anymore, like that's on you. That's on you. So if like Simmons is trying to mend fence, I can guarantee you the word like Joel Embiid is too much pride to ever even consider apologizing for that. Or like even if Ben Simmons, I would say Ben Simmons is probably willing to, there has to be some give and take. I would say Ben Simmons is probably at this point in time would admit he went about things the wrong way. I can guarantee you Joel Embiid wouldn't. And by the way, I just don't like Joel Embiid. I don't particularly like Ben Simmons either. Like with the way, I don't like him at all. Like I remember him literally in 2021 after those NBA finals, him saying that I'm not going to play in the Olympics because I need to stay back and like work on my game. He said he wanted to work on his game instead of playing in the Olympics, and then refused to play basketball the next season. Like Australians hate the guy. Like Embiid for Simmons straight up, not even joking. Would the Sixers be better with Ben Simmons? It's funny though, I will say Ben Simmons at his peak was a hooper. He was an absolute hooper. And as bad as he's looked in Brooklyn, he was so good yesterday. Like he was actually so good yesterday. But for Philadelphia fans, for the Philadelphia 76ers, whatever you do not bring Ben Simmons back. He literally held your team hostage. Like, whatever about the relationship between Joel and Embiid, even if Embiid begs to bring Ben Simmons back, he held your team hostage. Sixers fans, I mean, I don't know if there's a Sixers fan in the world that would just take Ben Simmons back. Because, again, he held the team hostage. You can't just hold a team hostage, realize you messed up, and somehow get back on said team. There is no way. Ben Simmons, if Ben Simmons plays the rest of this season, like he did last night, and ends up being like almost a walking triple-double, while still playing defense and doing a good job in a big win against Phoenix, there will be 29 teams that will be interested in Ben Simmons, especially if he's on a favorable contract. The one team that won't be interested in Ben Simmons and should never be interested in Ben Simmons again are the Philadelphia 76ers. Ben Simmons has burned all bridges with that organization. And even if Embiid wants him back, no, you do not take him back for your Philly. There is a 0% chance you take the guy back if you're Philly. And look, Philadelphia 76ers, they're going in a different direction. Ben Simmons is older than me. Like, he is not a young man anymore. He's older than myself. He's going to be 30 in like a year and a half. And even if he is back to his peak right now, he's going to regress. He is a non-shooter. Going to be in his 30s soon. You don't pay the guy. You don't want the guy long-term. And he doesn't fit the timelines of Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain. But yeah, either way, it's good to see him back playing, I guess, because, well, the better people are at basketball, the better it is in general for me. Anyway, I like watching good basketball, and when Ben Simmons is good, basketball's good. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.